Hi everyone, I'm Daniel, this is Kai, this is Belle, and we are the directors at Crescent Mortgages.
She's not director.
I'm Daniel, this is Kai, and this is Belle. Two of us are the directors at Crescent Mortgages. Today we're going to be giving you our top 5 tips for remortgaging. So if you have a mortgage, make sure you stay tuned as we could save you a lot of money and a lot of time. So first of all, what is a remortgage? So when you take out a mortgage, you will usually sign up to a specific scheme for a specific period of time with the bank or building society. So for example, you might tie in for a 2-year fix where you commit to staying with the lender for 2 years and they commit to giving you a specific interest rate for that 2 years. Now when that scheme comes to an end, you then need to shop around and find another competitive scheme, which is called remortgaging. Okay. So on to our top 5 tips. First of all, number 1. Sounds like an obvious one, but make sure you do actually remortgage. And what we mean by that, you don't have to remortgage. You can just leave your mortgage alone. If you do that, your lender will, at the end of your scheme, move you usually onto a much higher standard variable rate, which can cost you a huge amount more each month. So do you have some stats on this, Kai?
Yeah, it is estimated that between 27% and 46% of people are on the standard variable rate at the moment. It's likely a lot of those could remortgage, and ultimately they are paying thousands of pounds more than they should be.
In the UK right now?
In the UK right now,
My goodness, okay. So so make sure you do actually remortgage. There'll be lots of you out there that probably are aware that you need to do it. It's either coming up or you're already sat on the standard variable rate. If that is the case, get in touch and we can have a look and see how much money you could save. Number 2, start your remortgage application in advance. So do not leave it too late. Some people think that the process just takes a couple of weeks. Absolutely not true. If you leave it until your mortgage is only a few weeks away from ending, you're not going to leave yourself enough time, and you will almost certainly move on to the much higher standard variable rate that we referred to. We generally advise to start the process at least 3 months in advance, but ideally if you do it sooner, you could actually lock in a more competitive rate.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, up to 6 months is when the window first opens for a lot of lenders. And if you did secure one 6 months early, it might feel like it's a bit soon. What happens if things change? Well, we will happily review your circumstances throughout that 6-month period, and if rates change or if your situation changes, often you can change that right up until the point of the actual mortgage taking over.
Good point. Number 3, you can usually choose whether to remortgage to a new lender, so to a new bank or building society, or you can often stay with your existing lender. So they will usually offer you a scheme to stay with them so that you don't actually have to go through the full remortgage process. Now, most mortgage brokers will have access to both options, so they can move you to a new lender, or they often will be able to keep you with your existing lender, so they can actually compare the 2 options for you, and kind of you can work out which is best for you. The benefits of moving to a new lender are that you've got the whole market to choose from, so the chances are you might be able to find a better interest rate as opposed to your existing lender who will only have kind of one set of rates to offer you. However, if you do stay with your existing lender, the process can be a bit easier, as they don't need to go through the same full assessment as if you go to a new lender. But again, speak to your broker, they'll give you the comparison, and then you can make the right decision for you. Number 4, remortgaging is the right time to make any material changes to your mortgage. Now, this won't apply to everyone. Don't just make a change for the sake of it. But if you have, come into some inheritance and you want to pay a significant amount of your mortgage off, or if you potentially want to borrow some additional funds to maybe do some home improvements, or if you want to change the term of your mortgage, so increase the term if you're struggling to maintain your payments, or what was generally advisable if you want to reduce your term so that you get the mortgage clear quicker, which reduces your overall interest, then generally it's easier to do this when you remortgage than it is to make these changes when you're kind of halfway through a scheme and tied in with your existing lender. Number 5, this final point is applicable not just to remortgages, but actually to anyone looking for a new mortgage, whether you're remortgaging or whether you're purchasing. Make sure you pick the right scheme for your circumstances. So you may have just been on a 5-year fix up until this point, which is coming to an end, which is why you're looking to remortgage. Now, if you only expect to be in the home for another, let's say, 2 years, then do not tie yourself onto another 5-year fix. Sometimes if you go directly to your bank, they may not always give you advice in this area, but if you do pick the wrong scheme, you could find yourself being tied in for too long and actually having to pay quite hefty fees to redeem the mortgage early. So again, make sure you do pick the right scheme for your plans, and again, speak to your mortgage broker who will be able to pick the right scheme that's applicable for your circumstances.
Yeah, those early repayment charges that Dan mentioned, they can be quite big. In real terms, they average from 1% to 5%.
5%?
5%, yeah. So on a £150,000 mortgage, you're ranging from what, £1,500 to £7,500, and that's, you know, for a relatively normal mortgage size. So yeah, making sure you make the right decision for you is really important, and that's where hopefully again the advice of a broker and that conversation between the two of you comes in.
Good point. That sums up our 5 top tips for remortgaging. Now, of course, there are far more things to consider. So if you need help with any of those 5 points or anything else, your broker should be able to assist you with all of them to help you make the right decision. So any questions for us, either leave them in the comments, or you can drop us a message or give us a call, and we can run through everything with you. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.